Hey everyone, Afta here. This video has been long overdue. So I decided to make a game on Cardano, and specifically I decided to make a game that's part of another project on Cardano that's called Cardania. If you want to listen about the game, you can just skip this part because I'm going to talk about a little bit about the blockchain and the Cardania project. I think it's important to understand why someone would build something as part of another project and as why someone would build essentially a game that's based on a blockchain. So if you are used to the internet that we have today, you don't have any ownership over anything that you post online, because basically what it comes to is that you post this content on some other social network or somewhere. Whoever owns that social network or that website owns the content that you posted there, and they can basically decide to delete it and it's gone. You have no saying there. That's just one part of the thing that blockchain enables, right? So having ownership over stuff that is online. So you don't have to trust another company to have ownership over it, so you can own it by yourself. And blockchain makes that possible. And it's a bit complicated to explain how that works, but all you need to know is that ownership can be based on non-fungible tokens, or the so-called NFTs. And I know NFTs have a bad rap because of all the scams and everything that is happening, but imagine all of your skins that you own in a game, in World of Warcraft for example. Imagine if you could own them for real and sell them to people and buy them from people. Imagine if they were assets that you own and had a value. I know you can sell those things like in marketplaces that are built inside the game worlds, but this is taking it out. So for example, you spent 2,000 hours on a game and now you don't want to play it anymore. You have the option to at least take those assets that you earned in the game and sell them somewhere else, and then take this money and invest it into something else. So it gives you more freedom. Today it's just mostly talked about in a matter of a concept. In the next 10 to 20 years, this is going to become a standard. So I decided to make a game as a part of that idea, and that game is based on the Cardano blockchain, and it's basically using the gaming ecosystem of the project called Cardania. And Cardania is basically a gaming ecosystem. What that means is that they have like cards, they have like avatars, they have virtual lands. So all of those assets, you can design a game around them. It doesn't have to be one type of a game. So you can create a 2D game, you can create a 3D game around it, you can create a racing game around it, you can create a first-person shooter game around it, and that's actually what they are doing. They created like a strategy game and it's already online. You can play it. It's called Epoch Wars. That's just the tip of the iceberg what this enables now. So you have all those assets and it gives you the freedom to create whatever you want with them. Here is really the best part. Why is this important for especially for new game developers? Because right out of the bat, if you are willing to design a game around a gaming ecosystem that already exists and around those assets, you already have a group of people that is interested in what you are doing even before you start. The reason being that if I own assets of some gaming ecosystem and someone is making a game based around those assets, I want to know about it because I want to use those assets there. I want to see utility. The biggest problem for NFTs and why the narrative got so bad around NFTs is because there was barely any utility introduced. So this is going to be like the first devlog in the series. The name of the game is Patterns of Chaos. It's a multifaceted project actually. I wanted to design my own NFTs, but I didn't want to just make my NFTs for the sake of it. These Patterns of Chaos is my NFT project. I haven't really decided on what exactly that will entail, but this will basically mean that you are one of the first people who is supporting this project, and I will find a way to reward that in the future. The idea was that I wanted to connect the NFT project that I did with the game that I wanted to build, so just make this like a whole thing, right? The interesting thing about these NFTs is that they are audio-visual collection. This channel is a music channel basically, and I'm a musician. Not a lot of people actually notice that there is a song in these. So when you go to like your Pool PM wallet, when you open your pattern, you have a player here, and you have to make sure to click here to unmute it basically. And then if we play this, I'm not really sure if you can hear it. Maybe it's too loud. So these prismatic patterns are basically the most rare. So it's only 5% of the patterns are prismatic, right? And these are still minting. The total supply will be 1,000 tokens, and only like 30 have been minted so far. I will leave the minting page in the description. So if you want to support the development of this game, feel free to just go there and mint the pattern. So yeah, there is a song there, and you can play it and you can listen to it from this NFT basically inside Pool PM. So that being said, let's talk about the game itself, right? As you can see, these avatars, this is your player character, and they will come in different colors. And these avatars are called citizens. Whoever owns one of these will be able to have this citizen inside this game. Well, if your citizen has, for example, a gold helmet like some of these have, like this guy, so he has a gold helmet. So if you have that, you will be able to have that inside this game. So the idea for the game was that I wanted to make a 2D game that was basically an amalgamation of all the cool concepts that I saw in the games that I played when I was younger. This program, it's called PureRef. It's really good for creating like a mood board for whatever project you're working on. Here's the idea that I had for the game. You will have the world system, and this is basically what we have inside. I think I'm gonna go more with the idea that you are just part of this world. I will create like this central town, and this will be your base, so to speak. The idea for this project came in somewhere at the beginning of this year. I started learning Unity in like March. I've been like using Unity for 4 months now, and C# for that matter for 4 months. So I'm still learning a lot of concepts, and sometimes it's a little bit convoluted. I think I'm moving at a pretty good pace. I hope that demo of this project will be done by somewhere in the spring in the next year. I have a day job, so I'm not able to focus completely on just doing this game. Before I talk more, I need to tell you about what Cardania actually is. Cardania is a mega structure in space. The timeline is like way in the future. It's like humanity, but way in the future, build this thing, different biomes on it and stuff like that. When you first appear in the game, you will appear in a specific place, but you will be soon introduced to this central location, and I still need to design that. And from that central location, you will be able to visit. In total, there are 8 factions living there. There will be an area for the first faction, and once I design that, then I will design the area for the second faction. Once you go through all of the areas, then you will unlock the 8th faction, which is the darkness, and that will be your end game area. That's the idea around it. So the patterns of chaos, those will be objects in the game that you have to collect. There will be 7 of them. Each one will belong to a certain faction. So once you collect all 7 of them, you will be able to essentially slot them inside a portal, and this portal will open the gates to the darkness, right? There is this game called Summon Nights. It's a game from Game Boy Advance. It's like a dungeon. So for example, you have like 5 levels that use this specific tile set, and then once you go through those 5 levels, you defeat a boss, and it unlocks like the next 5 levels. I'm toying with the idea of making it procedurally generated. I always kind of like the games where the levels were just basically done, designed, and that was it. Procedurally generated can look nice, but also most of the time it just looks the same, even though it's different. We are getting to the core concept of the game, the battle system. One that I really like is the Mega Man Battle Network games, another Game Boy Advance game. The battle system that's used in this game is not used in so many other games. So you can put traps on the ground, and then you can have these to do specific things. So if you step on it, you just lose HP, or you lose damage, or whatever. So all of those ideas from that game I wanted to port into Patterns of Chaos. So right now you cannot do much. You can just move around, and this enemy that I call Mr. Penguin he is just throwing slices of pizza at you, and you have to avoid it. But the idea is that you can shoot back, and you can shoot him and he shoots you. The GUI that I have made here is just a placeholder. I will still see if I want to design something else around it. But the idea is that it will display all of your data here in these windows. And here you will see all your enemies and all of their data. Because I just put here one enemy, but the idea is to have more. To have like maybe another penguin and then another enemy that does something else, that attacks with a different pattern or whatever, so it's more challenging. And yeah, this is basically the battle system. So now we are getting to this customization. Like I said, I'm like pulling inspiration from different games that I really liked, and one of these games was Mech Warrior 4. You were able to put different weapons on your mechs based on what you put on them. Firepower increases, or their armor increases, or their speed increases, or their heat efficiency, and all of those things play a part in how you play the game. So the idea is to have like an endless amount of options to customize. Here we come to another thing about the Cardania project. They are basically making a trading card game, and they already have trading cards on their as part of their project. Here you can see them on full PM. There's like 400 and something. Those cards belong to the different factions of Cardania as well. There is also the Darkness, but that last one is kind of special, so that's why it's not included in this Ultraverse first edition. My idea was to include these as well in your game, so whoever owns these cards will be able to use them inside this game. The way that's gonna work, this mood board here was basically my first idea. In the meantime, I came up with another idea. So I played this game called Warframe, and they have a modding system in there. It's essentially really similar to this. Their modding system works that you have these mods, and then you attach them to your Warframe, and they do stuff to your status. They increase your damage, they increase your health, they increase your armor, they give you shields, they give you speed, they give you this and that. So you can create a build that works for you, right? And you have like different elements. You can just increase your element immunity, and you can increase your elemental damage, or you can increase your critical chance. There are many things that you can do, and you will be able to use these cards as basically mods inside Patterns of Chaos. Not all of them at first, because there are so many cards and you have to code, like each specific cards needs to be coded, but I will start with like 20. I will expand until I will try to get them all inside, because the project is really at the start. I have these 4 scenes done. Right now you can enter one of them, but the scenes basically don't talk to each other. What you can see here is basically the idea that I had for this customization screen that you will be able to enter in the game. On the left side you will see your stats, just like in Warframe. You will see your damage, your blah 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 stuff that changes in real time as you equip cards in these slots. The one thing I didn't tell you is that Cardania entered the Ultraverse cards. They have like 4 different types. You have spell cards, you have creature cards, you have support cards, and you have weapon cards. So my idea was to have these slots will be designated to different types of those cards. So you will have 6 of the creature card, and creature cards will just give you, they will work essentially the same way the mods work in the Warframe. They will just give you passive boosts once you equip them, and that's it. The weapon cards, they will change the default weapon, so to speak. There will be 2 slots for the spell cards. So I'm thinking this one and this one here. So you activate this spell during the battle for a certain amount of time. Your opponent's attacks do damage to your clones instead of. So that's one option that we can do. There is one more type of these cards, and those are called support cards. How they will work in this game is that you will be able to also equip them in one of these slots, so you will have 1 slot. All of these cards, they have this red color, means that they belong to the Technomage faction. So once you equip this card, it will not boost your player, but it will boost, if your other cards are belonging to the same faction, it will boost them. It will boost their effects. So once you equip your support card, it will boost those other cards. This will give you an opportunity to create really cool builds around a certain faction. So you will have the card preview down in this window, and the card effect will be listed here. Once you want to equip your card, you will click here, and then in this window you will have a list of all the cards you have, and then you will be able to equip it here. And here in the actions panel, you will be able to essentially unequip everything, filtering cards and stuff like that. We will see. This is still a work in progress, but I just wanted to show you guys what we have so far. All of the things that you see here are done by me. I wrote the script for this. The pixel art, I did the pixel art as well for this. One more thing I wanted to say is that policy ID expires. They will expire by the end of February. So what that means is that you will no longer be able to mint them. So whatever is minted until March 1st. That's it, no more. And let me show you the site. Essentially, one pattern costs 60 ADA. That's like $20 by the price of Cardano today. For $20, you'll be able to support this project and support me. And if this becomes anything, then you will be able to essentially own it. And to be able to buy this, you need to create a Cardano wallet. And there are many videos that explain how you do that. My recommendation is that you install your Eternal wallet as an extension to your Google Chrome and go from there. It's pretty self-explanatory, but like I said, this is all new technology, and I understand that not a lot of people will go through the motion to actually make a Cardano wallet and just put some money in there and mint this NFTs. But if you are already in the Cardano ecosystem and you want to support, it would mean a lot to me, because this is all basically a passion project. So I don't earn anything from doing this other than just being able to create something really, really cool, and maybe, just maybe, doing something that will have a future in the larger gaming industry. I also created some characters. You will have friends on this Cardania mega structure, and those friends will belong to the different factions. So this guy here, he belongs to the fungus faction. He will be your friend, and I also wrote like a backstory for him. And you have space pirates in this game as well as a faction, and they are called Spacers. So here is your friend from the Spacers faction, right? For example, you have Void Priests, and Erebos will be your friend from the Void Priest faction. If you want to learn more, you can just join the Cardania Discord. I have a channel on there. Everything I did, I update in this channel more frequently than I will probably do videos on YouTube. But it's a really fast way to just screenshot something I did and just post it in the Discord. So if you want to follow this project, go on Cardania and join this Discord. This is the Twitter account. This is the official logo for the game. So all of these letters basically also belong to one of the Cardania factions. Make sure to subscribe to this channel, make sure to follow me on Twitter, and join the Cardania Discord server and learn more about Cardano and learn more about this technology, because it's really awesome. Thank you for watching this video all the way to the end, and see you next time in the next devlog with new updates and new stuff for the game.